Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm in my morning wake-up attire here. I'm gonna go get a run in and do a workout in a minute, but having my coffee. I got a quick one for you today. I literally could shoot this and be done with it in a couple of minutes, but I'll talk about it a bit. We're gonna go over that little case caddis pattern I showed you. If you've been following some of the stuff on Instagram. This fly is essentially two materials: thread, crystal flat chenille, black or brown depending on what color case you want. When I used to do these back in the day, there's one little trick you're going to see here that's going to change how the appearance of the case is on this case caddis, and that's the use of a lighter. You're going to burn the material. That's it. The original ones of these that I used to tie, I would just use this flashy material and leave the case as is, and some people would laugh at it when they saw it, but it would progressively catch fish all the time. And we would tie some really big ones. So one of the rivers I grew up on, the Westfield River system in western Massachusetts, has tremendous amounts of case caddis in it. And you know, people would argue if those things were, you know, a viable food option, and you know, I would argue that they are. You know, there's obvious times when they're more readily available when they get kicked into the drift, but in some of them, some of the stick case caddises are, you know, 1.5 inches long or bigger. So the original version of this fly I would tie without burning the body material, and you'd get this big, long, kind of crazy colored looking, you know, case. But now what I'm going to show you is just by using a lighter, you can make this fly like a bomb proof to a degree. So a little behind. I know the granums have kind of come and gone on some fisheries, especially in PA, but the smaller versions of this are like, you can mold the body with your fingers after you burn it to make more of a rectangular, like, you know, case, so you can have a lot of fun with this. So I'm gonna show you how to tie this today. You can tie it with or without a tungsten bead if you don't want it to drop like an anchor, if you're not tight lining, you know, if you want to use it on an indicator rig. I like this fly tight lined, regardless of how you fish it, just because it's got a little bit of weight, sinks relatively quickly, and it's a fish catcher. You know, when there's case caddis kicked into the drift, I carry a handful of these in some different sizes, and a lot of times these save the day, especially in late winter. But enough of me talking, and I'll show you how to tie it. Alright, so just for the purposes of tying, I've got a larger one in here today. The hook we have in the vise is an Erex barbless, traditional nymph barbless. Great little hook, one of my favorites as of late. First thing we're going to do, I've got a bead on there already set. Size of the bead is completely up to you. Typically use black or brown depending on, well, black mostly, because the heads on a lot of these caddis are black. We're going to put some wire on there for the underbody. I've already put a little bit of a coat. Super glue. Consecutive wraps on these. Break off the tail end of this with your finger. Our thread's real easy. I'm going to use a 140 power thread chartreuse because I want the collar on this to be green. I tie these in a couple different color schemes, but either green or like a yellow or cream color is what we're going to use for the collar. Just going to build a little bit of a thread base, work right down, and then kind of build that up right to there, and then come right back to where the bend starts. We're going to use some medium black crystal chenille for this one. I'm just going to separate a little bit of the material right off the cord, so you just pull it off with your fingers so that you can get a nice little tie-in point. I like to bind this down pretty tightly, and then I'm just going to advance my thread right up to the bead. And if you do this on the rotary function, it's super fast, but I'll spin it by hand. And we're just going to take consecutive wraps, and every third or fourth turn I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to pull this stuff tight, because I want to really bundle this in there. You'll understand why in a moment. Right up to our bead. Once we've gotten to our bead, we're going to take 1, 2, 3 turns over it, pull a little tight, 3 in front, and then we're just going to half hitch this, just so it doesn't pull out on us. Come in, clip that crystal flash chenille, and then we're going to work on just building a nice little thread collar so that it's relatively uniform, because that's going to be our little rock larva, or our larva for our cased caddis rather. And we're just going to take some bone dry or any kind of really thin UV resin. I like to put it on the thread first, and then I'm going to do my whip finish because that'll help it bleed in. 4 to 6 turns. Trim. Cure our resin with a torch. And then here's what we're going to do to build that case however you want it. You're going to come in with your lighter, and I will warn you on this, you got to do this relatively gingerly and farther away. The closer you get to it, the quicker this stuff's going to go, as you'll see. And you come right around on all 4 edges here. And that's how you build your little case. You can make it square if you'd like I've kind of squared this one off a little bit, as you see here. And then I'll typically wait till that thing kind of cools off a little bit, because it'll be kind of hot. I'll take it in my hands just to get the tail end of it. And then you've essentially made your little case. And that's it. That's the case closed 2.0. I tie these all the way down to like little 18s, up to even like 2x, 3x long, size 12s, 10s or 8s, depending on how big they are on the river system you're in. But that's it. These are super lightning fast, and you don't feel too bad if you lose a few of them. That's it, guys. Good luck. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll be back with some more meat next week.